So season 10, episode 7 of The Walking Dead, titled Open Your Eyes. If you've not seen that episode yet, it's going to be spoilers within this review, so if you want to see the episode but you don't want to get anything spoiled for you, don't watch this review yet, but after you see the episode, you're always more than welcome to come back and watch this review once again. But anyways, you've been warned, there's spoilers in this review. From our point of view, this episode starts off kind of funny. Siddiq is going around the whole village or community of Alexandria, make sure everyone's okay. They're getting sick, and he's just doing everything he can to help them. And then he's making them drink like a pint of water just to make themselves feel better. But he's actually making it worse by giving them the water, which is funny in a way for us because he thinks he's helping, but he's actually making the situation 10 times worse. Which isn't funny because if someone does die in this episode because of this, but it's funny as well because Siddiq really thinks he's helping, but he's actually kind of making the whole situation worse, which doesn't really make anything really that good. But then they bring the prisoner into the jail where Lydia is actually still sleeping there since the whole Negan got out, and Daryl's like, "Get out, we need it." And they put the Whisperer in there, and then Carol and Lydia are talking on the roof up where Michonne had that fight with that woman at the end of season 7 where she threw the woman off the roof. They have a talk there, and Lydia's like, "Well, Alpha has always said to them, like, this community, like Alexandria, this cannot exist in this world anymore. So if you want them to like join your side, you gotta show them that this place does work." So Carol brings down, so she brings down the plate, and you think it's all torture equipment. But then she takes off the cloth, it's all sandwiches and everything. She's preparing a lunch for him. He puts the sandwich and he eats it. He starts by like, okay, well, in fairness, if I was in his position and I for years had to eat like rotten pigs and whatever meat I could find just to eat something, and I was given a sandwich with whatever topping I loved on it, I would devour that sandwich. He starts devouring it, but he doesn't swallow. He's all in his mouth, and then he spits it all over Carol. I'm like, okay, yeah, makes sense. He's gonna die now. And Daryl gets his hand and he puts it up against the wall, and he puts the knife up against it, and he starts threatening him. But then the guy says something. I don't know exactly what he says, but he's saying something like he's so loyal to Alpha, he'll never betray Alpha. We see more flashbacks from Siddiq that how he actually watched people die. So it was a matter of he was being held down and he was made watch Alpha chop off everyone their heads. Like, we actually get to see how it went about, and it kind of was very similar to how Herschel got killed, where he was on his knees and they just swung. So like we seen DJ, I'm pretty sure it was DJ, but he was on his knees and Alpha swung and chopped off his head. And Siddiq saying that for, I think it was 9, maybe 10 people. I can't remember the exact number, but Siddiq watched every one of them die. And like DJ, I don't think he was as friendly with, but the fact that Enid and Tara, who he would have been very good friends with, especially Enid, who he taught everything he knew to watch it. Like, you actually hear him screaming for Enid a lot. Like, there was a bit of a theory going around that maybe Siddiq killed Enid. I never really thought it would be true, just because I don't think he would have allowed himself to do that. But he goes about and he actually literally watches her be decapitated, which would be horrible to watch someone you taught, someone you're friends with, and probably you see them as a family member being decapitated in that way. It would have been horrible to see, especially because you can't look away. They're holding your head still. It would have been very, very horrible to actually watch. But him and Rosita are talking about how this, and he's talking about you just can't do it. He's just talking and he's slagging her about all the men in his life. Like, they're on the bed talking about how she's like very sick, and he's talking about, and she brings up Eugene, and he's like, the other man in your life. And you think about, she does have 3 men, and if you count Dante, which some people are tending to do now, that's 4 men. And they talk about Coca, and they're going, "You're such a good mother, you're such a good father," and it's something we never thought we would have been in this world. We never thought we would have got a chance to be a mother or father. But then it goes back over to the Whisperer who's been captured, and he reveals that, well, Alpha has done everything for us. She killed her own daughter for us, which kind of lets everyone know, like, oh, they don't know Lydia's alive. So Carol runs out there on her way up to get Lydia to bring down, but they're like, no, you can't do that. It's her choice. She does not want to get involved. She does not have to get involved. Do not bring her down. And throughout this episode, we kind of get to see Aaron and Gamma kind of creating some kind of relationship together. They meet up, it seems to be every day. It could be multiple times a day, but I got the impression it was once a day, and they just kind of talk for a bit. But Aaron was saying, we don't have to talk about, like, we don't have to get information from here, let's just talk. So they're talking, and it goes back and forth a bit. I'll come back to that later. But the Whisperer who's being held captive, he dies. Apparently Dante gave him something he shouldn't have, and he's saying, everyone's getting mad at Dante, like, why'd you do that? And he goes, well, Siddiq packed the bag. I just gave him because I thought that's what Siddiq wanted me to do, so I just gave him that. And Siddiq starts panicking, and he leaves, and he's walking around, and you can see his head's going 90. It's just everything has come back to him. And he just can't hack it, so he just runs into the river, and or the pond or lake or whatever they have there, and he plans on killing himself, so he kind of stays in there drowning. And someone jumps in after him. I thought it was Dante, but it turned out to be Rosita. She pulls him out, and they're talking, and he's sitting there, and he's going on and on about, you don't know how difficult it is to actually watch someone you love be killed. And the entire time I could see it in her face, and I could think it my entire time, like, well, she did watch Abraham and Glenn get their heads bashed in, and which is probably a lot more brutal than get your head chopped off just because you're still conscious. Was like the way it looked like Alpha did that in one hit, taking their head off, so they would have been dead like that. Where Abraham and Glenn, they were blood dripping out of their head and they were still alive, which I think is more brutal than what Alpha did. Like the outcome of what Alpha did, but putting their head down a pike was more brutal than what Negan did. But they got their heads bashed in and they were conscious while they were getting their heads bashed in, which is a lot more brutal. So I thought Sadiq saying that was a bit odd, that he was saying that to Rosita, and I could tell she was thinking the same. But then she came up and started going like, that's bullshit, don't blame yourself, because he found out that the water was actually poisoning because they were looking at the water, and he's gone on and on like, well, they don't eat the same food, they don't work in the same place, how are they all these people getting infected? And they looked at the water and he realised, and he left it, and he started blaming himself. He's looking out the window up in his room, and he can't stop thinking about it. And then Dante comes in, he's talking to him, and they're talking, and Dante keeps going like, I'm your friend, I'm here to help you, all this. And he said he makes some clicking noise with his mouth, and then Sadiq goes straight back to that whole scene when he was getting made watch decapitated, and the whisperer who was holding him still was Dante, because he made that noise, and he was holding his head like this and holding his eyes open like that scene in the Clockwork Orange, and he's being made watch it. And then he realizes Dante, and he's looking at him, and Dante realizes that he was who he was. And he looks at a chair, and he's about to grab it and hit Dante, but then Dante gets him in a headlock, and he starts choking him. And he's like, I never wanted it to be like this. Because I knew he was going to die there, just because I was on Facebook earlier before watching this episode, and I'm in this Walking Dead group, and I seen some asshole literally just put up Sadiq dies. No spoiler warning or anything, he just put that up. I'm like, fuck's sake. So I thought it wasn't actually going to happen, but then it came out that he actually did die. And the way it was killed, like, it's not stabbing, it's not shot, there's a chance Dante could get away with this, because Sadiq was the only one who knew about it. I don't know if I imagine Dante will, because like Rosita knew Sadiq was suicidal. Just because he had one talk does not mean he could be okay with it. So it could play out that like Dante might get away with this. Dante might keep living with our characters, and people just might think Sadiq committed suicide because of the whole aftermath with the PTSD he had from Alpha. As well, though, Carol took Lydia outside the walls to go meet where Aaron was, and then she goes there, and then Gamma's about to kill Aaron, and then Carol pops out with the crossbow and like, don't. Then Lydia comes out, and Gamma like loses her shit. She runs off, she's crying, and then Lydia comes to realization like, oh, you never wanted me out here, you just wanted to use me. And Carol's like, no, they think you're dead, that's the only reason I need you here. And she gets pretty annoyed, which in fairness I understand. She doesn't know, she can't trust anyone at this stage because her mom was beating her and everything, and now Carol's using her. She could trust Negan, and Negan's out there, so I think that's where she's going to try and go. She's going to try and find Negan, which she doesn't know is actually with Alpha. But I understand why Lydia's leaving, especially because her storyline kind of finished when Henry died, because her entire storyline in the comic books was based on Carol. Carol's not around, so they gave to Henry. Henry's not around, so now they had to go completely new stuff for Lydia. So the angle they're going with Lydia, now her being on her own, I'm really interested. I hope they don't kill her, because I'm actually I like her character. I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes next. I don't know where it's going to go next. So that's my review of episode 7 of The Walking Dead season 10. Let me know your thoughts down below. Click that subscribe button so you can come back next week to see my review of episode 8, which is sadly the mid-season finale. So we have to wait until I think it's mid-February when it's going to be back. So if you want to see my review next week, click subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.